Okay, so in this video I am going to be building a small outdoor bench. I actually built one yesterday and my field ornithology professor liked it so much that he asked if I could do another one that we're going to dedicate to the Audubon facility in South Carolina, where we're going to go do some birding. But basically what I got here is some rough hewn, it's just 1x4 by 12 pressure treated wood that I had Lowe's cut down for me actually to 4-foot lengths, made it more manageable for me to bring home. So we'll be using this to construct the bench top, and then what you see here is a piece of 4x4 pressure treated post that we'll be using for the legs, as well as a center support just to give it some more stability. And I will be cutting this down with a miter saw that's off camera. I'll show you that in a little bit. After we do that, we will be using my little wood burning tool here to burn a message of thanks into the surface, along with some of my classmates and my name. So we'll be doing that at the end, so I'll show you how that goes too. Alright, so the first things first, you're going to need a couple of tools if you do this. You're going to need some wood glue, tape measure, make sure all your measurements are correct. Speed square just makes scribing lines a little faster, pencil. And then I've got a drill chucked up here with a drill bit, just a speed bit that is a little bit smaller than the shaft of the 2.5 inch exterior grade screw that I'll be using to assemble this with. That way we don't split this 1x4 as we're going through it. It basically drills out just enough for the shaft, but the threads will still bite. That'll keep it from splitting. So I've got that chucked up, as well as just a regular drill here, impact driver to drive the screws. Alright, so to get started, we will start assembling the outer portion of the top. I'm going to move some of these, get them out of the way here. We'll start assembling the outer portion of the top with two of the 1x4s, making the outside edges, and I'm going to cut a 10 1/4 inch piece to go on either end. Make sure you can see this here. I'll cut a 10.5 inch piece that we will actually plate on the inside of this. Okay, so I have my 10 1/4 inch pieces here cut. I will be plating these in between the two side pieces to create a box, one on either end. The way I'll do that is get a little wood glue to put in the joint just for a little extra stability. I'm going to be drilling out 2 holes. I usually stay around a 1/2 inch off the ends. Attempt to do that just to keep it from splitting up towards the ends. I'll be doing 2 of those on either side just to put my 2.5 inch screws in, and that'll hold it really well. Once I do that, that creates the box for the top. Then the additional 4-foot pieces will be plated onto the top like this on either end, with one in the middle, giving about an inch gap on the top for a nice farmhouse look. Okay, so we've made the general box right here. That's going to form the outside edges of our top. The other 3 4-foot pieces, what you want to do is you want to make sure that the crown is down. That's just going to help so that it doesn't cup on you when it is exposed to more moisture as it's outside. The rainbow of the grain you want to make sure is in a typical rainbow shape going on top of the wood. So I don't know if you can see it very well in this video, but the rainbow shape is in the correct position. So that means that this is the top. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll line it up on the outside edge here, get it flush. I'll put some glue along the edges just for extra stability, and I'll pop a couple of screws in on either end, as well as towards the center portions at about 1/3 of the way, just for extra stability. The other pieces will line up in a similar fashion. This one will go on this edge first, so the two outside edge pieces, and then I'll split the difference with the one in the middle here. And that makes our top, like that. Okay, so the top is now assembled. Got our basic box structure with the 3 planks on top. As you can see here, I didn't put a screw here in the top because I have 2 going through holding the side pieces on. So I actually spaced off right here, but that's fine. That corner's not gonna curl at all. We got a lot of glue down this front edge as well, so we only need 2 screws in the front. What I'm gonna end up doing now is flipping the box over, and I'm gonna cut a 4x4 piece to actually go in here for a center support, just to make it really rigid. The other reason is the legs are actually gonna be 4x4s as well, to give it a lot of stability, as well as some weight, so it's not so easy to just carry off. This is gonna go out in a national park area, so I want it to be nice and sturdy. And it's all pressure treated lumber, so it should stand up to the weather, but after a little time and it's dried out, because this is brand new, still wet. I don't know if you could see it when I was applying the screws, but some of the moisture still pumping out of those things. Once it's dry, probably put a little Thompson's water seal on it just to make sure that it is going to hold up for a nice long time. Okay, so I got my 10¼ inch piece of 4x4, and I marked 2-foot centers on either side. Nothing magical about this. This is just a support block. So it's going to go inside here. As you can tell, the 4x4 pieces, 1x4 pieces and the 4x4 are not the exact same dimensions, but that's fine too. So we're just going to get it into place here and then screw that puppy in, and that'll form our center support. Next up are the legs. So because this is actually only about 12 inch shy, a little shy of 12 inches here wide, I want to have the legs be a little bit more supportive. So I'm actually going to cut them on angle so that they actually have a little bit wider base at the bottom. So I'm thinking I'll probably cut those out of 4x4s at a 20-degree angle, just to give it a nice cant out. And a typical bench height ranges around 16 to 17 inches is a nice height. So I'll probably cut from my long angle to my long angle a 17-inch cut, and that way with the travel we should be around 16 inches or so once we finalize the bench. Alright, so I'm going to make some cuts. I'm going to secure this piece in, and I'll show you the legs next. Okay, so I've pre-cut the legs. Like I said, I went with a 20-degree angle here on both sides, as you can see. Now, from my long end to my short end is 17 inches. I think I told you wrong earlier. It's not long to long. It's actually long to short, is 17 inches long. What that's going to do is when we place these in and get them flat with the base here, they will cant out and leave enough room in the middle so that they don't touch and overlap. If you went with a much greater angle than that, you'd have encroachment in the middle. So we'll secure these by plating 4 screws from the sideboard here. We won't need to go from the front. You get 4 on the side right here. That'll keep it from doing any kind of movement. We're going to do that on both sides, and we're going to have a completed bench. Alright guys, the bench is done. Sorry for the limited viewing area. My garage has been taken over recently by my wife changing all our house furniture around. But anyway, the bench is nice and sturdy. It's heavy, I can tell you that. Probably weighs about, I don't know, anywhere around 50 to 60 pounds. And now I am going to let this sit up. Hopefully the air conditioning in the garage will help dry it out a little bit overnight. And tomorrow I start the wood burning. I'm gonna do a dedication up on the top right hand piece from our school, as well as over on this side. On that left side, I'll actually dedicate it to the scientists that are allowing us to use their facilities for researching some for our field ornithology class. But that's basically it. I'm just gonna leave it raw wood. I might hit a little sandpaper down on some of these rougher edges. It will be sitting outside. It will start to weather, so might put a little Thompson's water seal on it after it dries out for a little bit. But there you go. Nice, easy, simple 4-foot bench that stands exactly 17 inches tall. I'm talking, we might be a 1/16 of an inch off. So that 17-inch from long to short angle on those legs, along with the about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch piece of wood on top, makes it almost exactly 17 inches tall. And there you go. Thank y'all for watching, and stay tuned because my next project is going to be really awesome. Got a Father's Day project planned. It should be pretty fun. Okay, so here's our finished bench. This is the one I most recently completed. Here's a side angle showing you the canted legs, another shot. It's very stable. This is actually the bench that I completed previously. It's the exact same model put out at Scottsgrove Farms. We'd like to thank Bob and Leslie Scott, owner of Scottsgrove Farms, for allowing us to use their property for field research and birding. This is from our USC Upstate Field Ornithology Summer 2017 class with Dr. Connors and the rest of my classmates. And here we are behind the bench on the property where we currently bird.